duo. The duo. The duo.
I wanted to try to go to the Baylor game, but they sell the tickets in sessions.
Yeah.
And so after Baylor plays UNC in the morning, it's Creighton and Kansas right after. And so they're selling them for like $140. I'm like, bro, I just want to go to the Baylor game. It's right up there. It's in Fort Worth. So I'm like, dang.
Yeah. Dude, we were hoping NMSU was going to get sent there.
Yeah.
Like, literally, they got sent as far away as possible.
Yeah. Back on the almost in Canada.
Literally, like from the Mexican border to the Canadian border. Like, that's literally what we did.
Yeah.
So
that's wild, man.
It's cool, man. I've never been to Buffalo. It's like a cool little city.
Yeah.
So
what I was gonna say, yeah. So with the Baylor, like originally the Baylor's path that we had hoped for, like all the Baylor fans, is like first 2 games at Fort Worth, and then get sent to the South region because that's San Antonio. So it'd have been 2 games in San Antonio, and then they made it to the Final Four.
Where's their region? Like where they're gonna get sent to the Sweet 16?
Philly.
Oh,
yeah. So yeah, but man, appreciate you coming on, my guy Colin Deaver. His second appearance on the duo, tying Jay Billis for the most guest appearances. Well, and Karina. Karina's been on 3 times. Wait. 2 or 3 times. I think it's
does
twice.
She count as a guest at that point? I mean, she has to just be like a co-host.
Yeah, she might as well be the co-host, but she'll hate about how I don't have her on the podcast. Episode 78. Appreciate my guy Colin hopping on for Dane just for this episode. Dane is in the process of moving into a new home. All you homeowners out there, you know how that goes.
Big.
Yeah, big time, man. He's way more adult than I am. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
We're all 30, and he's almost 31, man.
Yeah. I forgot, like, somebody asked me how old I was the other day, and I could not remember. I'm like, I'm 30.
You turned 31 in May, right?
Yeah, coming up.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm 31 in April. That's why I remember is because you're like a month after me.
Yeah.
So, man, we're getting old.
Getting old, but good old 30 old, Appreciate you taking the time out, man, especially covering March Madness up in Buffalo near the Canadian border, and
I've seen a couple Mounties up here. No, seriously, like there was like a Mountie at the game the other day, like the talking about like the Canadian cop, like with the hat. Literally, there was one of those at the game.
Yeah, that's incredible, man. So is this? I know we met like 4 or 5 years. Wait, actually, it was longer than that.
27. It was 2015.
2015.
How about that?
Right. So you've covered how many tournaments? So you're covering New Mexico State right now, and they're in the tournament. How many years have you covered a team that was in March Madness?
This is the 4th time I've covered the dance. So it was 2 years, like when you and I were covering Texas A&M, that first year with it was Alex Caruso, Daniel House, Jalen Jones. That team made the Sweet 16. That was the year that they beat Northern Iowa. They were down 12 with 34 seconds left.
A crazy shot, yeah.
Yeah, and came back and won the game. Then lost to Buddy Hield in Oklahoma in the Sweet 16.
Yep. That was another one. I remember that one.
Yeah, and then 2018 they went to Charlotte. And they were a 7 seed that year, beat Providence, and then they upset number 2 seed North Carolina in Charlotte.
Yeah.
That year, and then 2019 was it 20? Yeah, it was 2019. Was Texas A&M Auburn in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
Near upset for New Mexico State. They lost by 1, and then yesterday, I guess recording this, it's Thursday now. When New Mexico State beat UConn 70-63 in Buffalo. Teddy Allen, as of right now, the star of the NCAA tournament, dropped 37 points to lead them to the win.
I was just about to ask you about Teddy because, obviously you always have those Cinderella stories or those unsung heroes, but, you've covered New Mexico State all season, and I'm sure it might have been a shock or surprise to everybody else, but you followed this team all year, and you even had during one of your live shots or one of your posts I seen the night before, you were talking about how he could be that player. Like, you saw this, you've seen how he's been the entire year. What kind of player is Teddy Allen?
Like so those shots that he was hitting, and like I like understand, I've seen it all year, and it's still like mind blowing that
Yeah.
like he's making the like how could you like in the way he shoots the ball, like that herky jerky motion, like it's literally like a dude at the rec center. Like we're just gonna drag you out of the rec center and put you in March Madness and hit
Mm-hmm.
these shots. Like that's how it is.
Yeah.
And but it's like at the same time, I have seen him hit those shots
Right.
all year long. So it's like as amazing as it is, it's so weird like to describe because it's like I'm not like I'm all at once like not surprised at all, and then also surprised because like you just can't imagine somebody hitting those shots on that stage, like with the magnitude and like he's that kind of player where like he he struggles a lot to like get up for games
Yeah.
that don't matter. And like coaches and players are always say like every game matters, but like those like midweek whack games where they're playing, Utah Valley or you know Cal Baptist or whatever. Like that is
Playing
not what that's
down
not when
competition. Yeah.
yeah, that's when Teddy but that is not when Teddy Buckets in New Mexico State like are with it. Like it takes a setting like Thursday night in Buffalo, 12 seed versus a 5, versus a Big East team where like he has this way, and New Mexico State as a whole, but like especially him, like they just have this way of stepping up to who they're playing. And I mean, you saw that Thursday night. Like that's one of the that might be the greatest individual performance I've ever seen in my life from a
Yeah.
basketball player. It was
Right.
incredible to see in person.
Like, and you always see that on the big stage, right? Like, it seems like more every year, March Madness is getting more maddening.
Yeah.
Like I look before we started recording, zero perfect brackets already. Like, I don't think, and I could be wrong, but I don't ever remember it getting like where nobody can kind of have that perfect scenario going. I mean, nobody's ever going to be perfect, but this early, we're heading into the round of 32 tomorrow, and there's no perfect brackets, and so with the way New Mexico State is playing, like I picked them in my bracket mainly because of I'm following you and I know how closely you follow the team. And uh how do you see them matching up with Arkansas? Arkansas squeaked by Vermont um, today, and so they're coming from the SEC where they had the big giants in Kentucky who fell, Tennessee, but where do you kind of see New Mexico State matching up with Arkansas?
I mean, I think you're kind of seeing the SEC right now in the tournament, like as good as it was, as it seemed to be in the regular season. Like there's been some teams in the SEC that have fallen unexpectedly,
Yeah,
or haven't played as well as maybe people expected them to do. Arkansas included. I know Vermont like coming like people picked for like that was a trendy upset pick too.
I
Vermont
think
over.
I think I picked Vermont in my bracket.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
about it. I really did. Like they shoot the hell out of the three
yeah,
ball.
yeah,
And Arkansas is just so up and down. Like they have some really good wins, but then they also lost to Hofstra,
yeah,
and lost to Vanderbilt. So it's just I think New Mexico State. So the way I described it on television tonight is like New Mexico State and UConn. Those are like two very like they played almost the exact same style of play. Like it's like we're gonna slow the ball down.
hmm half
We're gonna
court. Yeah,
We're gonna run the shot clock, like play really hard, like physical defense, rebound the ball. Whereas this is going to be a contrast of styles. Like New Mexico State, they want to slow it down, and just kind of try to grind you out. Whereas Arkansas, like they want to get up and down, like hard, like get in you defensively, full court. And so it'll be like New Mexico State has struggled with turnovers all year long. That's been one of their biggest issues, is just turning the ball over. And they did a good job on Thursday. I think it was. I have the stat sheet in front of me. It's where is it? Oh, that's Vermont. Hold on, sorry.
You good,
uh,
bro?
11 turnovers. They had 11 turnovers. They averaged like 14 or 15 a game on the regular season. So like in Arkansas, like forces 14 or 15. So like if New Mexico State can limit their turnovers and then control the glass like they did against UConn, which was UConn was
Yeah,
like a top 3 team rebounding, and New Mexico State out rebounded them. Um, I think like I don't know, like I don't know that I'll say like they'll win the game, but like they're going to be in the game. It's
yeah,
like they're going to give themselves a chance at the end, in my opinion, to win the game. Like it'll be like you're going to get to the 5 minute mark and it's going to be within 5 points, I think. And then like again, like you got a dude like Teddy who, you know, if it's within 5 points with 5 minutes to go, like can you think of a player in the tournament right now that like you'd rather have than that guy? Like
yeah.
he's done this at the Power Five. He's averaged 17 a game at Nebraska last year. Like
Hmm.
he can like he does this. His brother Timmy plays at
At
Texas. Like
UT, yeah,
yeah, like he can do this, man. And like and that's the other thing people ask. Like, is he really like was that like a once in a like so often in March, like you see dudes that like do that, and it's like the game of their life. Like, no, he does that. Like he
right.
like that's like every day. Like not every day, but like he dropped 41, he dropped 33, he's dropped 30 multiple times this year. Like he can do that back to
Yeah,
back games.
I
So
listened to his interview right after the game, and I can't quote it per se, but it was something along the lines of "This is what I do, man." Like it's like he seems like one of those kind of. I think I tweeted him being a hooper, like a hooper, like
he said
those.
that after the game. He said, "I'm just a hooper."
Okay, that's what. Okay, that maybe that's why it clicked in my head, man. Because I tweeted literally during that stretch towards the end. I was like, man, Teddy's a hooper. Like those guys, like
Yeah,
just goes out there and gets buckets, and that's all you saw from him during that game against UConn. Um, I love upsets. Everybody loves upsets, right? Except for when
yeah.
you're on the other end. And St. Peter's, bro, like the team account wasn't even verified before they beat
Are they
Kentucky.
verified now?
Verified now, and they had tweeted,
It
yeah,
didn't take long.
yeah, they tweeted out, "We did it" with the verified check. Incredible, man. And we saw the 16 beat the one back when dang,
I was at that game
Maryland.
actually.
You were you
Yeah, that because that was in Charlotte in 2018. It was UMBC beat Virginia.
NBC?
I've been
Okay,
like, dude, I've been like, I'm
so
trying. I
you
don't
see
want to.
a bunch of, oh my
I
god.
don't want to like, yeah, dude. I don't want to like flex or anything, but like that's just like I've been very blessed. I will say that I've been very very blessed with like the things that I've been able to like watch and like see in my career. Like I saw like that like 2016 Northern Iowa beat Texas on literally a half court shot at the buzzer. 2 days later, Texas A&M rallies from down 12 to beat Northern Iowa with 35 seconds left.
Didn't you go to the national championship in Houston?
No, I didn't. We didn't have
Okay.
credentials.
Okay.
You were at that game though, right?
No, I didn't. I didn't go.
That was we should have gone.
I know. The North Carolina Villanova crazy shot at the end.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
But then Charlotte in 2018 was like, um, yeah, it was UMBC versus Virginia. Like I can't believe that happened. Like I
man,
was sitting
it's
courtside for it.
incredible, bro. Like, and yeah, so that segues me to this. Like a 15 beating the two, 16 beating the one. It's only happened once, but this is right up there. Like a blue blood powerhouse Kentucky Wildcats. Calipari, I had Kentucky in my Final Four. I had them beating my Baylor Bears in the Elite Eight. Like,
Wow.
people got all my Baylor fans, people that I know and friends, they got on me about it. I was just the way I saw it for Baylor. Of course, I would love more than them to go back to back. But just the injuries that we've gone through this year, and the tournament is a tough stretch to go through to repeat. So I was like, let me do some reverse psychology. I'm thinking in my head, but I definitely had Kentucky moving on. But St. Peter's, would you see that as, even though it was a 15-2, do you compare that like a greater upset than the 16-1 because we know who Kentucky is?
I still think like I see the argument. Like I think it's there's definitely an argument to be made for it. I would still say 16 over a one.
Yeah.
just because it's like it's only happened once. But like I saw the stat where I hope I'm right on this, but I think the all of the Kentucky assistant coaches made more money, like a lot more money than the St. Peter's head coach.
That's crazy.
Which is so it's just like you put like into your point like about that 15
Yeah.
upset being like because that I mean that's like I'm trying to like put this into terms of like college football, but that's like I don't like that's like UTEP beating Alabama in football.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's just like it should never happen.
Ohio State or something like that.
Yeah, and for them to do that, I mean that's so awesome. I will say the covering the tournament, like when you're on site, you're just so like locked into like what's
Mhm.
happening. Like I actually didn't know that Kentucky lost until like 2 hours after the game.
Yeah.
So until somebody was like, "Yo, did you see like this?" I was like, "What? No."
What's so crazy?
What?
Like, because you're working, you're covering your squad. You got live shots, you got
Yeah,
packages, you got stuff you have to do for your station, and I mean, you really wouldn't be looking at Twitter. You wouldn't know. Like before we were recording, I was letting you know about the end of the Colgate Wisconsin
Colgate.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you wouldn't know, but I just know like I just love this time of year because we always see those situations like
Yeah.
comparing to any other like sporting event. Like March Madness is up there, like top two, maybe best thing, top sporting event to be a part of, and even you
Especially these
covering them.
2 days. It's like
Yeah,
this for this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I've never I've like covered teams that went to the Sweet 16, but I've never been to the Sweet 16. And like I would like to go, but like I'm also fine with this.
yeah.
Like because this first it's so cool. Like you could because anything can happen. It's so cool.
What's New Mexico State's region? Where would the Sweet 16 Elite Eight be?
They're in the West, so they win tomorrow. They'll play the winner of Gonzaga Memphis, so probably Gonzaga in San Francisco.
San Francisco. Okay,
How
I
about
just didn't
that?
know the exact region.
From Buffalo to San Francisco.
Coast to coast, coast to coast CD.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. They can do it. We'll see.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Yeah, March Madness has always been up there, man. I can't say it enough. I know a lot of people love this time of year. Um, are there any other like surprising things that you saw over the weekend, or should I say through the first two uh 2 days of games?
Um, I guess like just from my vantage point here, like so we had the whole region here in Buffalo is 5-12, 4-13s. So like you kind of go in knowing like oh like we could see some upsets here.
Yeah,
I so it was not only NMSU over UConn, but the other 12-5 upset was
yeah,
Richmond over Iowa, and that was here in
yeah.
Buffalo.
Right.
Um, and first of all, Keegan Murray for Iowa is that guy. Like he's a projected lottery pick. Like seeing him in person, he was fun to watch.
Man,
I know they
I had
lost,
them
but
going
like he
Sweet
was fun to
16.
watch.
Yeah,
And he is like you talk about like prototypical like NBA wing player. Like that is that guy. You know,
yeah.
he can shoot. He's athletic. He's long. Like he was just fun to watch. But like seeing Richmond, a 12 seed who finished sixth in the Atlantic 10
I had to
regular
make a run
season.
to make it in. Like,
Right, man. They had to make a like. But the thing of it is like this team that had to make a run in the A10 tournament to even get to where they are. Like they step on the court with Iowa, and I was like, man, they match up, like physically. Like there was
yeah,
not like if you take the jerseys off of those guys, other than like one starter of the starting five for both teams, that was like I don't know that I would have been able to be like, okay, that's the Big Ten team, that's the A10 team.
and it's so crazy when you think about like that's what the tournament is, right? Like, it comes down to matchups. Like,
Yeah,
I know for sure when Baylor's schedule or potential run, I'm thinking about how we match up with certain teams because that's what it comes down to when you have a team that say has like for example, has like 2 6'10" guys, and on our squad we got a 6'5" guy. I'm just using an example. Like
Sure,
that's
yeah.
just good luck. But when it comes down to those guys that can become matchup nightmares for whoever they're playing. So yeah, I feel you on that one.
Yeah, and Richmond was, man, like they shoot the ball well, they pass well. Like their point guard just makes, like, I was like sitting courtside for like the first like 30 minutes of that game. Like just the passes he makes, like
Yeah.
the way he orchestrates. Like I don't know if you remember when like that year we covered A&M, and they hosted Kentucky and like game day came.
Yeah, that
Like
match always comes up on my time hop of us.
right, yeah, but like Tyler Ulis was on that Kentucky
Yeah.
team. Remember
Mm-hmm.
how he just like controlled like everything that they
The
like?
pace.
That's
Yeah.
I would describe that point guard for Richmond in terms of like
Right.
Tyler Ulis. Like he's just like not like Kentucky wanted to get up and down, and like Richmond wants to like slow it down a little more. But just in terms of like
Yeah.
he is controlling every aspect of the game. That's how I would compare it to.
Yeah. Those 12-5 matchups are, that's money. Like you're hitting on like at least 2 of those per tournament. I think the stat was like since 2010, 12 had beaten 5 17 times. So
Yeah.
I picked a couple of 12s in my bracket. I think I
to.
the Richmond one and New Mexico State was my other one. Yeah.
So you hit on both of them then.
Yep. Yeah. But yeah, man, good matchups heading into day 3 of the tournament. Day 4, we'll find out at the end of this weekend. Sweet 16 games. Colin, of course, we have March Madness in the NCAA, but we've had March Madness in the NFL, bro. Both
Have
of
we
us,
ever?
yeah, both of us are diehard Bronco fans, man. I think that's initially, we were both stationed, in College Station reporting, but when we found out we were Bronco brothers, man, that's a bond that can never ever be broken.
How did you figure that out, by the way? Because I remember, like,
I don't
I just
know.
walked up to you at a press. You know what it was? Is like with the first day we met was an A&M press conference,
Yep.
and I like walked up to you and I was like, "That guy looks like he's my age. We should be like."
Yeah.
I was literally like, I think we're like the same age. We should be friends." So
Yeah.
like, so that's why I walked up to you, and then it's come to find out you're a Broncos fan. It worked
Yeah.
out.
Man, it's good to have talk to a Bronco fan. Like I could talk freely without being ridiculed by Dane and his cowboyness. He needs to take a break. I'm playing, but man, we had March Madness in the NFL. Like I tweeted something like it being the most NBA-ish NFL offseason that
Yeah.
ever. Like by far, this has been the craziest offseason with obviously Rodgers coming back, Russell Wilson to the freaking Broncos, man. I went crazy on that last week with Dane, and but I'm gonna ask you about what how do you feel Russell changes our squad, bro?
I mean, I hope for the better.
Yeah.
Obviously, I will say, like, I'm not. Like we always joke, like I'm the pessimistic Broncos fan. Like I'm always the pessimist here when it comes to Broncos fandom, and you're always the optimist.
I love it. I love it.
I will say, and I hate that I'm starting negative. Like I will say that like he's he's not old,
Mm-hmm.
but like I worry a little bit that maybe he's like past his prime because he's like such a is like just in terms of his mobility, but like there's no way he'll be better than Teddy Bridgewater, he'll be better than Drew Lock, he'll be better than Trevor Siemian. Like he's going to be better than anybody we've had since Peyton, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And with those receivers that he had, like that's the thing I'm so excited for, to just like see him with Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy.
We have to give up Judy or somebody, one of those young receivers that we just signed to. What compared to all these contracts we've seen, seem like steals now for us.
Right. Well, and the thing too, like even when he was in Seattle, like he really had like I guess I mean Doug Baldwin and Tyler Lockett, I guess, but like I don't feel like he's had a receiving core as good as what Denver has right now.
It's not. Nope. I agree.
So that's really like, and that maybe that helps him like transition into like the next phase of his career where it's just like, all right, you're like, yes, you've lost a little bit of your mobility, but
Yeah.
like you can just like you have like a good offensive line and you have
Mhm.
really good receivers that you can just like pick apart a defense. So
Yeah.
that's really exciting, dude. And dude, the move that I was most surprised about, was it yesterday? Was it Thursday or Friday? Not Randall Cobb, Devonte Adams.
Yeah.
Like
Nobody
like
knew.
that was that was nuts to me, and it kind of for him personally makes sense. Like he's from like played ball at
Play,
Fresno State, like from California. From a personal standpoint, it makes sense. But I was just
yeah.
surprised that that's what he decided to do.
Yeah. And him choosing
So
Derek Carr over Aaron. And from the reports are saying it was more so, like you had mentioned, him being, played college ball with Derek Carr, but also seeing Derek Carr as like long-term option of having a good quarterback, not knowing how long Aaron Rodgers is going to be there. And apparently Aaron Rodgers knew when he was re-signing that Devontae Adams is, on his way out, which is kind of funny because in hindsight, I step back and I'm like, okay, so it really was about the money, I think, for Aaron Rodgers because he signed that big contract knowing Devontae
what was
was
the
going.
terms again? Like what was the exact terms?
Initially it came out, it was like 4 years, 200 mil, but it was like 3 for like 150. I'm just rough guesstimating, but I think it was around that area. But
Jeez.
um, man, insane. And back to the Russ thing, I kind of agree with him. Not having his best years, the last few years in Seattle. I think he gave up. Not him, but he took like 40 something plus sacks, and I think that is him trying to make too much. You know how Russ plays, like that
Yeah.
razzle dazzle, always trying to make a play, and hopefully, my hope is that if he kind of changes that mentality, he can be who he is, like scramble around, make plays, but like trusting guys to, or especially his O line to kind of protect them and know that you know he'll have decent time to throw the ball. Um, but yeah, the AFC West in general, bro. Khalil Mack going to the Chargers. J.C. Jackson. We mentioned Devontae Adams. It's every game in the AFC West is like primetime TV, and
I agree. I agree.
it's definitely gonna be something that I'm obviously tuned into every game. I'm gonna try to catch a game next year. I gotta catch a game next year.
I haven't been to a
To catch the
Broncos
boys up.
game in fives. It'll be 20. It was the last game of the 2016 season, the year after they won the Super Bowl.
Uh-huh.
They played the Raiders on the final day of the season, and it was like
Okay.
they could have they. I think did they finish? It was either 10-6 or 9-7 that year. Like they were good, but still missed the playoffs.
Oh
And
yeah,
like
that was a 9-7 year.
okay, and so
With, was it Trevor Simeon was our quarterback?
I think so, yeah. But
Yeah.
like if they had somebody had to lose in like the morning session of the games, and then
Mhm.
they had to
It's
like
always
if
like
the
that.
team had lost and they had won, like they would have made it, and they of course like destroyed the Raiders, but the team in the morning won, so it
Yeah.
didn't matter.
Yeah.
But that was the last Broncos game. Shoot, that's one of only two Broncos games I've ever been to. The only other one was Jacksonville in like 2008.
Oh dang. Yeah,
Maurice
you gotta.
Jones-Drew went
Well,
nuts.
that's what happens when you're a working man, superstar reporter, bro. You ain't got time for the Broncos.
Shoot, stop! No, stop it! Stop it!
I went to this year. I went. The Broncos beat the Cowboys. I was there. I was there with Dane. Yeah, it was
How
Dane.
How'd Dane take it?
What'd you say?
How did Dane take it?
Okay, so let me preface. It was his first ever Cowboy game. He had
He had,
never he had been to the stadium for like Texas high school football, but he had never been to a Cowboy game. So
he
now
can't
he's yeah, he said he's never going back. The other great thing about it, his brother went with us, and his brother's a Broncos fan like me. And so we were just it was me and me and his brother James on this side. Dane was just like the entire game because we whooped their ass that game. Like
yeah, it was like it was like 29-0, wasn't it?
at one point, yeah, and it was so much orange in the crowd. I was so hyped, like so much orange in the crowd. Then like on the way out, everybody's like, "Let's go Broncos!" Like we weren't under 500.
Like, that was the best. That was easily their best game of the year.
The year, bro. I'm like, and that, we had just traded Vaughn, so everybody was like, "Dang, we finna be bad on defense." Or
They
just
traded Vaughn signed with the Bills while I'm here in Buffalo.
yes, yeah, bro. What? Okay, we were talking about this before we started recording. We love Vaughn. We loved everything he's done for the Broncos.
He's other than maybe Rod Smith, he's my favorite Bronco of all time.
Yes, and my dog cashed out 6 years, 120, 51 million guaranteed at 33, bro.
33.
I'm not mad.
It's not like you're a quarterback. Okay, linebacker, 6 years.
Yeah.
What are the Bills doing? Like, happy for that guy. I hope he can get another Super Bowl. I do. What are the Bills doing though? What are you like?
I don't know, man.
You just gotta look at the history of the league, like, and I get it. Like, he's like, he played really good this year. Like after he got traded, like he was huge for the Rams on that Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
I just shoot, man. Like you just gotta like, you have to look at like the history of the league and like you said he's 33 now. I thought or 32.
Is he about to turn 33?
I honestly don't know.
I think it's 33. Let me check.
He's
32.
32.
Oh, he'll be 33 on the 26th. So a week from today, he'll be 33.
So he'll be 30. So like, yeah, by the end. I mean,
yep.
Get paid, man.
Oh, yeah, get your money, man. Get your money. Get your money.
Yeah, happy for him. But the Bills, I don't know how that's going to work for him. We'll see.
Yeah, AFC is loaded. Today, Deshaun Watson got traded to the Cleveland Browns, and he may not even step on the field this season, depending on how the NFL deals with this situation. And I will ask you on this, man, because I feel some type of way. I haven't really said it a lot publicly, but I talked to Dane about it closely, and especially with how the NFL handles certain situations, and the one with Deshaun Watson is so weird to me because the way the NFL has dealt with certain situations seems weird and not, I won't even say fair because that's not the right word, but I'll just say like for the Ridley situation where Ridley got caught gambling on his own team, which is against the rules, but he's getting suspended for the whole season. And then we don't know what Deshaun Watson's punishment is going to be, but this man got 6 years. Am I right? 5 years or 6 years? 5 years, 250 mil. Let me see if I get this right, because I just put it in my text. He got 5 years, 230 mil guaranteed. From the Browns. 5 years, 230 mil guaranteed, making him the highest paid player in NFL history after and still dealing with 22 civil suits for that situation. That don't sit right with me. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. How?
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, I feel like the balance, or from a outside looking in, like if you're saying like this guy's dealing with these situations, these 22 civil suits, and people have their own opinions about it, but to go from that to being the highest paid player in the NFL during Women's History Month, that's just so weird, man. What do you think?
I mean, so obviously it's important to note that he hasn't been charged. Like the criminal case was thrown out, but the civil case is not nothing. And like
exactly, and that doesn't mean he's not guilty either. Like that's the argument that people don't understand.
Right, like that. Like just because there's not enough evidence to convict him in a criminal court of law doesn't mean something that it's very like, and I know this is like there are a lot of Baylor fans on it. Like it seems very similar in some
Mm-hmm.
ways to what happened at Baylor a
Mm-hmm.
few years back. Like just because there isn't enough to convict everybody on like that doesn't mean any like absolutely not like like you know what is it? It's 22 different women with Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is, I'm
And,
sorry,
and
man. That's
what's
too much.
important about that,
That's too much. That's like 22 people aren't just lying. That's how I feel. Like 22 people aren't
and,
just lying.
and you know why I also feel like that? 22, and some of them put their name like in the suit. Like to me, if I'm lying, I'm not putting my name. I'm anonymous in this lawsuit, or
Yeah,
I'm anonymous in this case. And I had to go back and read because before we hopped on, I read some of the other like a news article about one of um the ladies that were in the lawsuit, and it's just crazy stuff, man. And for me, it's just like that situation is just weird. So I'm interested to see, like, in the past, the NFL has not really been consistent with
they
like the
haven't been.
domestic
No.
abuse things, like suspensions and things of that nature. And so when that's why I brought that up, because with the Calvin Ridley situation, he got suspended a whole year for gambling, which it's against the rules. We know that,
Yeah. No.
but
And I'm not sitting here and saying like it's just like the Calvin Ridley thing is so interesting because like all of these leagues, be it NFL, NBA, like they're like it's some of these leagues. It's like the NFL today sponsor. I
oh
don't
yeah,
want to speak out of turn here and like say like, but it's like the NFL presented by FanDuel or whatever. Like, and I know like I know I'm probably getting the sponsorship wrong, but it's like that stuff happens, and
mm-hmm.
it's just
Oh, he's not the only one for sure.
I'm forgetting who the person was who I saw this tweet from, but it was like you can't have that stuff, and then like oh, but like like oh the players are betting on the game, and again they shouldn't be betting on the games. I am also like I guess I'm also of that opinion too. Like you like you shouldn't be Calvin Ridley shouldn't be betting on the game. That's
Yeah.
how like I feel that way, but it's also like okay, like if you're gonna say like Calvin Ridley shouldn't be betting on the game or whoever can't be betting on the game, like but then also be embracing like FanDuel and all of these things as like direct sponsors and like partner like it's just like it's such a fine line and
We
I
could
think
go.
that's your point. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and like that goes real deep into a lot of things, because Colin Kaepernick popped in my head because they're talking about they had all the end racism things, and this guy can't get a job whether you feel he should be starting in the NFL or not. I feel like he's at the point where he was making his comeback, and I think he's still trying to make one. There are a lot of quarterbacks that have jobs that aren't better than Colin Kaepernick.
I agree. Nathan
And
Peterman. Does Nathan Peterman still have a job?
dude, Peterman in Buffalo,
Did you say
no, no, no. I'm just saying he was in Buffalo at that time when he threw like 7 picks in one game.
oh
I'm like,
jeez.
bro,
Yeah,
come
no,
on, this dude got a
hey,
job.
you're absolutely right. Like it's just like you were saying at the start, like just the inconsistencies
Yeah,
of the league itself. And Kaepernick is one. Like Ridley and then Deshaun Watson might be maybe the worst of it all. Like
right.
yeah,
It, it's crazy to think about, man. But he's headed to the Browns. Baker Mayfield, we don't know where he's going. This man,
I don't
and
feel.
that
I'll say this: I do not feel bad for Baker Mayfield.
I'm like, I'm like, bro, this generation, and I don't even know. We're older than Baker, so eh, that the way he went about that was kind of weird. It's all about perception now, right? And trying to get ahead of things, and I'm doing everything I can for the city, all this kind of thing, bro. Just play football, in my opinion. But that note with his middle name, he was just asking to get ripped on that. But Where do you think he goes? I mean, Houston didn't want him.
That was telling.
The Colts, maybe.
Apparently, the Colts are apparently like a place he wants to go, or like he would be okay with going. Is that like? I don't know. I mean, Indy's going to need a quarter. I mean, I don't think he's terrible.
Yeah.
I think he's a okay NFL quarterback. I think is
I mean, yeah, and he's done. I mean, I'm not knocking what he's done in the league so far. He got Cleveland their first playoff win in Lord knows how long. That's an accomplishment. But I mean, yeah, I just see. It's just weird how every social media is played out, and like how things can change over social media, and how perceptions and how people want to be seen, and all those things are funny to me. But in general, bro, the AFC quarterback play is insane. You know, we got Russell Wilson now in the AFC West. We already had Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes. Gonna have Deshaun Watson at some point in the North with Lamar Jackson,
Joe Burrow,
and Joe Burrow, of course, just went to the Super Bowl. And then who we got who am I missing in the South? The big quarterbacks in the South.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence, if you want to throw him out there.
Yeah.
I mean, the Titans. I mean, it's Tannehill, but like it's not totally Tannehill with the Titans. It's just like they're the Titans.
I think they should have got a quarterback, unless they're looking to win a draft. But I don't think Tannehill's the guy, man.
And then Mac Jones with New England. I mean, he's all right. I mean, the West is like. I mean, I think it's fair to say, as good as Russell Wilson is, he's the third best quarterback in our division.
Yeah, man.
Like it's Mahomes, Herbert. As an Oregon grad, like,
dude, we could have had. Remember,
I love that guy.
You or something. I came across a tweet not too long ago. I think it was like maybe a year ago or something. And because I said if Justin Herbert would have came out his junior year, I think Denver would have gotten him, because John Elway loved that dude so much. Like, he wanted him so bad, but he came back for his senior year. I can't remember where we went, what direction we went in at that point. But
was that the Chubb? Did we take Chubb that year?
2018. What year was that?
Because Herbert. Well, Herbert came out in 2020.
Let me see. I'm gonna have to look up who we drafted that year.
Was Chubb 2018 or 2019?
Let's see. So 19, we drafted Noah Fant, Dalton Risner, Drew Lock.
Got it.
2020, we drafted. Look at us, the best Bronco fans. We know who we got. Who we drafted. We got Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler. Okay. So 19, Chubb must have been the year before.
19 would have been the year if he'd come out. They would have had a shot at him.
Yeah, but man, it's going every as much as the division games are going to matter, the games outside the division will matter even more, because I mean the games in the division are going to be so bad. Like, you got to win outside of the division to kind of keep up. Right. Every game is going to be tough, bro. But Tom Brady coming back, bro. I didn't get to talk about this on the last episode because we had already recorded, but why won't he leave me alone?
He just wants to lose more playoff games to the Broncos. Is what he wants. That's what people don't know. Tom Brady, he's 1-3 in the playoffs against the Broncos. The one win was at home versus Tim Tebow.
Yep.
I'll take that to my MF grave.
Yes.
I will take that to my damn grave.
Yes, sir. Let them know. Let them know, CD.
3 in the playoffs against the Broncos, and the win was against Tim Tebow at home. Mm-hmm. He cannot win at Mile High. He just can't. He can't do it.
He can't.
Won't be able to do it.
Hence him going to the NFC, where he didn't have to deal with Denver anymore. So
Speaking of him in the NFC, did you know he has as many playoff wins over NFC teams as Aaron Rodgers?
What?
Because he's won 7 Super Bowls,
Wow.
6 of them in the AFC, and then he has 4 wins with the Buccaneers in the NFC in the playoffs.
Wow. Yeah. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, bro, I don't see how are the Bucks the best team in the NFC now? Wait, because who's in the?
No, I think. I mean, I still think I'd give the Rams the nod for
Oh,
now.
the Rams. I forgot about the Rams.
I would still give the Rams the nod for right now. Because since they just won the Super Bowl, I think that's fair.
I definitely forgot about the Rams, and they just won it all.
The Packers are going to be good though. I mean, Rodgers, the Bucks are going to be good. Like those two guys, you're always going to have a chance. Like if they're on your team.
Yeah,
so.
I think I said something how Rodgers. I talked about this with Dane on an episode. Was the playoff play has come down to, or Packers losing in the playoffs came down to Rodgers. Like he in the regular season from week 1 to week 18, he's playing tremendous football. Obviously, back-to-back MVPs, but come playoff time, man, I don't know what it is or what it's been. Like, dude has struggled. So it's come down to him. Like, you had Devontae Adams, you got your boy Aaron Jones from El Paso holding it down, but
Burgess High School, man.
But yeah, it's coming down to him, playing better. I feel like they'll probably go out and get some type of receiver for him. You would hope.
Losing Devontae, you got to go get somebody.
You would think.
Who would they get though? I mean, maybe is there somebody in the draft they could get?
Ain't no big. I mean, there are big name receivers left, but
the big name left them.
The big name left them. Like, but I'm talking about name like Odell is a free agent, but he just tore his ACL, and you got Julio that just got cut from the Titans, but he didn't look the same in Tennessee, so
he's done. Yeah, I will say this though, like Tannehill's your quarterback, like whatever, like that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm biased. I'm biased. He took Marcus Mariota's job in Tennessee, but it's just and he played. And he not only that, he went to A&M.
Yeah,
it's just like it's like a double whammy. I'm like, so like I'm just like, like objectively, he's actually like played well for them the last few years, but I'm just like I never want to give him credit. If that's unfair of me, I know it's unfair of me to do.
That's so funny, man. Oh man. I appreciate you, brother, copping on with me at this late hour. I know you it's 1:30 over there in New York, so I know you got a busy day tomorrow. New Mexico State plays at what time?
It's 8:40 Eastern, 7:40 Central. Dude, that's a wild. That's been the weird thing about Eastern time, like this week. It's just like
because you're in Mountain in El Paso, correct?
Yeah, we're on Mountain time up there. So, which I grew up like I'm from Colorado, so I grew up on Mountain time, and so it's like again, I'm biased, but it's like to me that's like the best time zone because it's like things aren't starting too late, but like Pac-12 football or whatever, like in the fall, like any like West Coast NBA games, like they're starting at like 8:00,
right?
So like, they're over at 10:30. So it's not like this like obscene hour to be watching sports. So like that's why I always say it's like the best like time zone basically. But yeah, Eastern time zone. It's like the game, like the first game here in Buffalo didn't start till 6:00 tomorrow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so like we only have shows. We only have shows at 6 and 10 Mountain Time. So
big
dude, I gotta go to Niagara Falls. Tomorrow's the day to go.
Nice. So, see, I've never been. Of course, I've been to New York City, but that's like the only New York I've been to.
Yeah.
But I'll have to make that trip out there at some point. But tell the people where they can follow you, my guy.
Hit me on Twitter at Colin Deaver TV. That's really. I mean, I've just devoted so much of my social media presence to Twitter. I'm not really on anything
Yeah.
else.
Let
So,
me talk about Colin, man. Colin is a freaking superstar on the rise, man. This guy is getting commitment exclusives recently. KJ Allen.
Lewis, KJ Lewis.
Lewis, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I just want to shout out my guy, man. I love that kid. He's if you're a fan of college basketball, he's committed to Arizona.
Yeah.
Class of 2023. He's so, like, I think he will end up in the NBA. He reminds me, if I could you're gonna laugh because I'm a Nuggets fan. He reminds me of Gary Harris.
Okay.
I think
You were
that's
sending
his
me highlights of this guy years ago.
dude.
Like
He's
when you first started
like,
covering him.
so he's like 6'4", but like he's going to committed to Arizona, just like freak athlete. Like that's the thing that stands out the most, of just like how athletic he is, and like
Yeah.
the things that he was doing as a freshman in high school, and even like I mean he's about to be a senior now, but like the things he was doing as a freshman in high school is just like, oh my god. So
Yeah.
and he's just like, dude, like you just like you've done this job too, and like you just like meet those kids that are just like, they're just great kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's just such a great kid, and like he deserves everything that's like coming to him and that has come to him. Like it's just really hard not just, you know what I mean, just like not to be happy for him.
To
So
root for him. Exactly. Like,
yeah, so I know that's a tangent that people don't care about, but
yeah. And for him to
so
and his family to allow y'all to get the exclusive, man, I feel like that's a testament to what you guys do, and of course you, man. I always hold it down for you down here, man. I always shouting out my guy and letting people know about the Colin Deaver.
oh please, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Of course, man. Episode 78 of the Duo Sports and Stuff podcast. Make sure you check us out on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, all those digital streaming platforms, or our website, www.theduosportsandstuffpodcast.com. Colin, appreciate you, brother.
See you later. Go Ducks. The duo.